All right, so I think I'm just going to get started. My name is Igor Oriper. I work for a company called Bitmovin. We are a video streaming tooling company, so we make tools for developers to build streaming services. Today, I want to talk a little bit about a couple of things, but really it's intertwined. I want to talk about a customer of ours, the Recording Academy, and the 66th Annual GRAMMY Awards, which aired back in February. Who watched the Grammys? It's pretty fun, right? If you love music, there's some big events at the Grammys this year. This is our second year hosting the Grammys with our very close partner, Nomad Media. And so I want to tell you a little bit about that success story. We were very excited to do the Grammys, and I also want to talk a little about why that's important. We're going to do audience participation for this part. For those of you who watched the Grammys, call out, where did you watch the Grammys? What was the network? Did you watch online? Online. All right. So if you watched online, you probably were watching a stream that was coming from Nomad Media. I mean, really, it was a stream that's produced on site by the Recording Academy. And that stream is then syndicated to a number of distribution outlets. CBS Paramount was one of those distribution outlets. There are many of them out there for traditional broadcasts. So if you're watching on your big screen TV at home through your pay TV operator, you're probably watching through one of those affiliate partners. But if you're watching online, you're probably watching through the Recording Academy's website, the Grammys website. And so that's where Bitmovin, together with Nomad Media, displayed that experience for you. What did you all think of the quality of the broadcast, of the online broadcast? Good quality? Any buffering? On Paramount Plus. Okay. Yeah. So that's one of the affiliates, one of the syndication partners. And so one of the things that really matters, especially for online streaming, that's different from traditional pay TV broadcast, is quality, right? So what do I mean when I say quality? I mean the video startup time, right? How long does it take for that first frame to pop up when you tune in? Right, that's important. You don't want to wait for too long. People are, you have a lot of things to do. What else do I mean by quality? Buffering, right? So you don't want that stream to stop when Beyonce is singing, right? In the middle of a performance. Also the pixelation, right? Who notices sort of oddly shaped pixels and macro blocking and artifacts in the video itself? Right? You don't want all those experiences. And it's weird that I'm talking about problems with the stream, but the reason I talk about it is because quality matters. And when we are talking about online video streaming, the quality of each user's or each viewer's individual experience may be very different from somebody else's. And that's just because of the nature of the internet. And so to fix those problems ahead of time and to make it really a smooth experience for people, there are a lot of folks behind the scenes making that work. And so at Bitmovin, we're one of those companies. We make the video player that actually renders that video on your screen, whether it's a mobile device, maybe it's a web browser, maybe it's a smart TV, wherever it is that you're streaming, we're making sure that you're not seeing that buffering. The video is starting up really quickly, and there are no artifacts in the video, right? It works really well. That's what we do. That's our specialty. But then we partner with folks like Nomad Media, who put together this streaming experience for the Recording Academy. And so you all see the end result, right? As a viewer, that's what you enjoy at home. And so quality matters, right? Everyone is vying for people's time and attention. And as someone who, you want to watch the Grammys, that's great content. But if you're not getting a good quality of experience, you're probably going to go somewhere else and spend your time elsewhere. And so quality is a big trend that matters. The other thing that really matters is the devices that you're viewing on, right? So you want to be able to, as a streaming service provider, you want to offer this experience to folks on mobile devices, on smart TVs, in some cases gaming consoles. There's set-top boxes. There's so many places where you can consume this content. Everyone has their favorite, right? Or maybe you're traveling and you only have access to a certain type of device. So as a streaming service provider like the Recording Academy, it's critical that you're making this experience available, and it's a consistent experience regardless of the device that you're on. One thing we do at Bitmovin is we do this thing called the Video Developer Report. We just published our sixth annual Video Developer Report a few months ago. And one thing we do is we survey a number of folks across the industry about, what's important. And one of the things we survey about is how many devices are your viewers using in order to access your content today? And then what are the new devices that you want to add in the future? And so I apologize, there were slides here. They're on my phone. So I'm going to give you a summary from those slides. So in our report, in our last report, currently the folks who were surveyed, they said there were at least 29 different devices across 12 different platforms where they have to provide this consistent user experience. So think about it from a product development perspective and an operational perspective. That's a lot of devices they have to worry about. They each have their own quirks. They each have their own, different ways of working. And so as a service provider, it's really important that it's a great experience across all those devices, but at the same time, it's sort of annoying to have to support them all. Right. And that's, again, where Bitmovin comes in. We do that. That's our specialty, is to make sure that the playback experience is really consistent across all the devices that are out there that are needed by our customers. So that's a really big challenge, and it's something that we help to overcome for the Recording Academy. The other thing to think about is, the metrics. So I talked about rebuffering. So one of the things in the report is 19% of the respondents said that rebuffering is their number one issue with their current streaming service. 15% said errors, right? Who's had a stream just fail kind of midstream? You have to reload. Maybe reload is not working. That's a number two priority for the respondents. Number three is video startup time, how long it takes for that video to start rendering. And let's see what else. Yeah, and then there are a bunch of other issues, but they're sort of lower priority. But those are the big ones. And again, how do you solve those problems across 29 plus devices? Really complicated. You don't really want to spend your time doing that. And that's where we try to make our customers' lives easier. Okay, so back to the Recording Academy. So of course, GRAMMYs, right? Big annual events. I mean, some might say it's sort of the music industry's biggest annual event. So that was our challenge. They wanted to make sure that they deliver the best experience to their viewers. And this is the second year in a row that we're doing this together with the Recording Academy. Number two challenge for them was to maximize their audience reach. This is why they want to support it across all the possible devices, because they want to make it available to as many eyeballs as possible. Number three, they don't want to spend a lot of money doing this, right? If they have to do this all themselves, they have to test across all these devices. That's expensive. So the intent was really to reduce cost of ownership. And then number four challenge, they want to be able to control that experience. They want to be able to customize the experience for the end users, the user interface, the playback controls, all of those things that, as a user, I take for granted, right, when I'm looking and watching video online. But those are all things that, as a service provider, are really, really important. So those were the challenges. And then the solution, I told you a little bit about it already. So Bitmovin, we make the tools. One of those tools is the player, and we partner up with Nomad Media. And Nomad Media provides this end-to-end service to the Recording Academy so that they can address their biggest challenges. And it's the Nomad Media content management system that pulls this whole experience together. And so what were the benefits? They found high quality playback, across a lot of devices, all the devices, in fact, their target devices. So they're really happy with that high quality feedback. I keep saying playback, across the devices. That was the feedback they gave us. It's really, really critical, right? It's something that they just don't have to worry about. They can worry about putting on a great event. They can worry about a wonderful agenda for the event and making sure that the talent is there. They don't need to worry so much about the technology behind the scenes to make it all happen. Millions of viewers streamed the event online, which is really exciting. It was the biggest number of unique concurrent viewers for the Grammys ever streaming online. And then a reliable service. So, one of the things we didn't talk about is, well, how did the feeds get from the studio? They have to be produced and they have to get out to millions of users across the world, in this case, many of them in the US, but this is a global event. And again, this is where Nomad Media made that experience happen. So you don't want that service to stop midstream during such an important event, right? It's the #1 event for the Recording Academy every year. And so cannot afford any interruptions. So that's the success story I wanted to share with you all. There's a lot more that goes into this to put on these big live events. I find it really interesting as a technical person. It's a challenge that I like to solve, and when things go smoothly and nobody notices a problem, that's my ideal situation. And so I get very excited about things like this. If you're interested in learning more about the Recording Academy, the Grammys, Bitmovin or Nomad Media, feel free to chat with me after. Our booth is just down there in W West Hall, here in this hall 3013. And happy to answer any questions you might have. Thank you all.